me and a round of applause and welcoming Miss Claudinette John. All right.
Hello. How you guys doing?
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Yes, we are so happy to have you on the platform with
Thank
us.
you.
We've been waiting for this for like months, okay? And so
Hmm.
this has been so exciting. This has been so exciting to really have you on our platform and to just have you just educate us because that's what we want. We want education, and I believe that that's what everybody's looking for. I mean, I was reading on your bio, I was like, dang, it has been 21 years that you have been in business.
Yes, yes, I have. Actually,
Wow.
I started out 2000, um, and I was at 499 7th Avenue, and of
Yeah.
course, I was there for 12 years. And when my daughter came into poor, and of course, I had to take a little distance to raise my daughter. But in the meantime, I didn't give up in just fashion. I went into a whole nother field, what was real estate. So real
Oh,
estate is my real money making.
okay.
So,
Multiple business
but I'll
income.
be honest with you, fashion always have been one of the most beautiful, exciting thing for me to do, and I will do it for fun all day, all night. So when I first started out, just to give you a little background, I went to Wyclef State University. I had my a scholarship there, and I was in a pre-med major for about 3 years. Then I changed my major to fashion study. When I started working into the field, I realized that was not for me. So I changed into fashion, and I've been in fashion since then. And I remember I was just like the only black student in class. And we had, just to give you a little background story, because I had left school for a little bit. Um, we was on vacation. When I went back to school, we had to write a paper to write about everything that you did for that summer. And I remember I was telling them how I want to become a big time designer. And my teacher looked at me. She was also my counselor, said, "Oh, minorities such as yourself, I don't think it's a good thing for you, designer, especially, it's a man business. I don't think it's going to be a good thing for you. Since you like the modeling, because I was doing modeling too, you should stick to that a little bit." And I was looking at her like, I'm too short. And I was so depressed. And I remember I went back home. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go and show them. And I took the semester off, and I focus all 100% of fashion, and I end up taking longer than I thought, and I end up in doing Fashion Week. I did 5 seasons under Brian Park with Sean John, with Tommy Hilfiger, with all the big boys. And by the time I went back to Montclair to graduate and get my degree, all the students from the fashion department was coming to me every single end of the month. I
Wow.
went back to show my teacher that I did it. She was no longer
Yes,
there.
yes,
That's
yes.
my story.
Oh my gosh. That is so interesting too because I was telling you that we had Dawn Haynes on a couple weeks ago, and she was saying how when she started out with like management,
Hmm.
touring like management, music management, things of that nature with Tina Marie. She's actually coming onto the platform now, and she
Nice.
was talking about how one person had told her because she wanted to go into law, and
Hmm.
there was a person that she really respected, and they told her like, no, they didn't think that she would, that she could do that because
Yep.
it was male dominated field and
Hmm.
or industry, and it was kind of like it kind of messed her up. So she decided to do something else, which was great because it really put her on a platform to where she was able to launch her career. And yeah, so that was for her, it gave her the ability to go back later on to say, hey, you know what you said to me. Um, she said that she would never. I apologize. She said that she would never tell anybody that they can't do something, because
Exactly.
she knows exactly the effect that it had on her. And she's
Hmm.
actually in the studio now. If you would like for her to go ahead and join us, I think it would be a great opportunity. Is she there?
Okay.
Dawn, are you there? She'll be back. So we'll bring her in after
Hmm.
she gets back. But it's so interesting that you say that, except the fact that with you, this was really your passion. So it was like you were not trying to hear it. So
Exactly.
like, no, this is, I'm gonna show you. And that's exactly what
Exactly. And sometimes, you get these negative statement to people. They underestimate you, but sometimes it make you stronger. Other time it just weaken people. And I tell everyone, you just gotta do what you love, and you
right.
just gotta put your 100% behind it. You gotta take baby step if you have to. Don't let
Right.
anybody tell you you can't. And that's one thing that I don't let my daughter use in the house. I can't.
Right.
Everything is possible.
Exactly. 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 And it's, the thing is that I you are definitely a strong woman. I know that for sure.
Thank
Um
you.
just the tenacity and the determination, especially that we have to have as a people,
Hmm.
because we have so many things going against us already. We have to deal with the people who say, "Oh, you're a minority." This
Right.
and it's a male dominated industry, so you just might as well just stick to modeling because that's all that you're
Hmm.
really good for.
Hmm.
Basically, your pretty face. So just stick to that, but having to have enough determination to say, no, I'm not going to let you just tell me that I'm not going to be able to do this.
Hmm.
And that's something that I think a lot of us have, because we do face so much adversity, because of the fact that we're minorities. We have to do everything 100% better than
Exactly.
everybody else in order
Exactly.
to be a in order to stand out. Yeah, to be on the same level as
Of
other
course.
people.
Hmm.
Yeah, but the thing that I like about what you did was like, you kind of like was like, now I'm gonna show you, but then I'm gonna also chart out my own path. I'm gonna create my
Hmm.
own road. You don't want to
Yep.
let me in on this side. I'm gonna create my own path, and I love that.
Exactly. Not that it was easy, because when I did get into the field, it was a man show. Even when I went to Paris and going to the fashion, the textile shows, it was nothing but Korean, foreign men into that room. And I remember I was like, oh my God, you will think that you will find more women into fashion than men, but it was a man world. And when I went, and I remember I didn't want to go into doing t-shirt and jean. And I remember a lot of people was doing that. And I was like, I want to do the art piece, I want to do gown. I want to do this, to show them that I can design differently. And I did that. And that's why I went into one of a kind pieces, because I was creating for individuals. And with my husband being in the limelight. And I remember I used to go into the ward passing my card, and I was networking. And I
Right,
didn't even care. I was just like doing what I had to do to make sure, individual was able to wear my clothes.
right.
So exactly. And then after 12 years, 9/11 hit. That was another major hit in New
Mm.
York City. And it ended up having a lot of company running off overseas. That's when most company would start moving to overseas.
Wow.
Hmm.
See, that's information that I didn't even know. I didn't know
Oh
that.
yeah, it broke down New York City with all the major. Yes, it did. And that's when a lot of designers and a lot of people decided to really start focusing overseas. Then they was getting their money worth as well. But the
Hmm.
connection was so tough. People was always hiding,
Right,
the truth, the whole concept of how to go and make it happen. We had to go and search. We had to run. You had to, people say, oh, it's not an easy business, but at the end of the day, these are the conversation you was getting. But you had to be tough,
right.
to get into that business back then.
Yeah. And
But
do
now. Huh?
I
Now
was
it's
going to ask you, go
beautiful
ahead. Now,
because everything is right under your fingertips. That's the beautiful part for this generation.
yeah. That was one of the questions that we were actually going to ask you about.
Hmm.
We were going to ask you, I know we kind of talked a little bit yesterday about your creative process and learning how to draw,
Hmm.
the fashions that you envision in your
Hmm.
head. So can you tell us what your creative process is?
Um, I actually sketch it. I prefer to do the sketching, and
Okay.
I wasn't a great sketcher, but I saw it. Everything that I sketch, I will see it, and then
Mhm.
I will make it turn to reality. I have to be the one to buy the zippers, the fabric, the lining, every detail. I have to actually put everything together and work with my cutters, my sewers, and when they're not there, I used to get in the machine. I used to do whatever it take to. My mother was a sewer. My uncle, my
Wow.
first business started in my basement with all my family members, including all my aunts. And let me tell you, it was tough working with family. Oh my God. I had to get my oldest, let me tell you, I had to get my oldest brother to fire my aunts.
Oh my goodness.
Hello.
Hi, Dawn. How are you?
What's happening, ladies?
Nothing
We
much. We're so
good.
You know,
happy
I,
to
I
see
got to
you.
multitask.
I see.
I
Thank
said,
you
you know,
so
I got
much
to
for.
multitask.
Can you hear us?
Barely, but I said I have to multitask.
Oh yes, we heard you.
Mhm.
Can you see
Okay.
Claudinette?
I could see her.
I see you up there in the corner. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
How are
I'm
you?
so
How are
glad.
Hi.
you?
I'm good. I'm good.
That's good to hear. I'm having really bad connection today. I don't know what's going on.
It's
Yes.
the cell phone service providers. I'm telling you, it's up one day, gone down the next. You just don't know where to be. I mean, they're all pretty much the same.
Yeah, I think that, since COVID, everyone's home on the phone.
Exactly. That's
Yep,
true.
nobody's at the
What,
Fort brick and mortar behind four walls anymore.
Nope.
Can't
well,
talk
I,
on your
I know
cell
I
phone
know
while
how
you're
to
at work.
resolve that. I'm just going to have to fly into the studio.
Yeah.
Well,
Hello, come on.
That's what's going to have to happen.
Yes. We were just talking to Claudinette about the industry, and man, she revealed some stuff that I did not know. In terms of like not being told all of the information, not being given all of the information to, so that you can be successful. A lot of the companies moving out of country after 9/11 happened. It's
people,
just
co- people coming to the studio, to the showroom, trying to get ideas so they could run with it because they were quicker to get the information. I mean, to get the production done quicker. It was a hot mess back then.
oh my god.
All
Queen.
that.
Ah,
Oh my gosh. So
yes.
the fashion industry is back then definitely
Oh,
was not
yes.
for the faint of
Oh,
heart.
yes. Oh,
You
yes.
had to have some stick to itness to be in the fashion industry.
Yes, thank God I had some individual that was very nice to me back then. Naomi Campbell. Actually, she the one that actually gave me the realtor to find my spot in 499 7th Avenue. She came to my show. That's my girl. I love that
That's
girl.
the girl.
And then we had Tommy Hilfiger, his brothers, all of them came to the shows. Russell Simmons,
Wow.
everyone. There was, where are you getting this stuff done? Well, I remember Tommy Hilfiger sent his brother to the
Mhm.
showroom, and he say, "How she's making this thing so fast?" And I say, "My production is in the back too." He said, "You're not sending them to China?" I said, "China." Okay, so that's why it's happening. So that
Yeah.
was that was back in 2000, 2001, 2002.
Wow.
Yes.
It is so interesting that you brought up Naomi Campbell because that Dawn was just talking about her when she came on to the
Hmm.
platform.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. First time I met her, I was doing a photo shoot. You know, back then when you try to be a model, I'm too short, but I was doing my thing back then, but I'm just too
Okay.
short.
Give it up to the
I was
short.
just coming out of a showroom. I mean, out of a photo shoot because I was trying to get my free test shooting so they could use my picture and I have free pictures. While she
Yeah.
was coming in with her mom, I was leaving. That was the first time I met her. Then I met her through another friend, Nisha Fur. That was my girl too.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my gosh. So now let me ask you a question. I know I've noticed a lot now. I told you, and I think I spoke with Donna, I was telling her the same thing, that I'm seeing a lot of Black entrepreneurs, business owners coming
Yes.
up, trying to
Love it.
support their own fashion lines,
Mhm.
right? Um, the other thing that I've noticed is it's a huge uptick in like Chinese companies
Yes.
selling like their apparel like dirt cheap, right? Like really, and they use our pictures and stuff to make you think that it's a Black company. But then when you go to look at the about information on their website, that's when you notice that they're not American based, that they're Chinese, that it's a Chinese company. And I know that a lot of times people go that way because the manufacturing and all of that stuff is so much cheaper. But one of the things that you just talked about, which I was thinking might be a solution, is to have I think a lot of people outsource to China because it was cheaper than paying people to sew and to produce the manufacture the products right here in the US. But I really think that we're gonna have to start going back to that.
Well, again, they're much cheaper, and now they're coming to you. Because
Yeah.
back then, when I used to go to New York, going to the upgraded to upgrade the patterns and so on, it was used to be the Jewish, the Portuguese, they used to own the building. But now when you go, it's all Korean, and they know that we as Black, we are $1 billion corporation. We buy a lot.
Yes, we do.
We do. The name brand, the big payoff is coming from us. Maybe that's one of the reasons why they're using Black
Right.
faces, because we are major buyers.
Right.
And at the same time, you can't outbeat them for the price as well. That's another thing.
Yeah.
So the beautiful thing with me, I was able to work. Now, when I went back more into production. Back then, I was one of a kind, tried to do something different, being creative, getting my name out, and so on. But now it's all production. And thank God, all my production, the few that I just did online right now, as we speak, I have a lot of pieces online. I was able to do it in US.
Good.
So I'm trying to focus most of the stuff that I do USA, because this is another thing that we are trying to do as well, bringing the manufacturers back.
Yeah.
But the Korean is also coming back to us too. Because I
The only thing
recently
that
going back and I'm getting my showroom on 38 and 7th. And guess what? Most of the building are owned by foreigners now.
it is, and it's sad because our communities no longer look like our communities. And and like you were saying, we buy a lot, but when we're spending our money with them, they're not reinvesting that money back into our communities. So instead, we're seeing more of a deficit in the Black communities, more of a gap in terms of wealth in the Black communities. And you have all of these other nations of people that are filthy, they getting filthy rich off of our dollar.
Yeah.
So I was, thinking about, like you said, the production part of that, bringing that back to our communities, because there are a lot of people that are now getting back into sewing.
And lack of community with us as well. So that's
Yeah.
important. You understand?
Yeah.
Because every other form of success with any other individuals is because there's a unity. If this doesn't work for this person, they always know someone else that could do it. And they'll grab your hand and take you there. But with
Yeah.
us, we always, there's always a distance, and we need to cut that mess out and get
Yeah.
together.
And that's the one thing that I really appreciate about both you and Dawn, because I was able to reach out to both of you. You answered
Mhm.
your phone and she
Mhm.
answered her phone. And when I explained what it was that I was doing, you guys were both like, you didn't ask any questions, like how long you been. No,
Yeah.
you found out what the mission was, and it's like, okay, this is what we need to do.
Let me.
And
Well, a big part
yeah,
of it is too is the big part of it is that you could feel your genuine spirit. You know, when you called, it wasn't
Mhm.
about, let me ask her about her credentials. This could have
mhm.
been your first podcast, your first day coming on here. I
Exactly.
would have said yes, because
Wow.
I could hear your passion. I could hear you sincerely love what you're doing, and you want to. I mean, you have interviewed enough people that you have this thing down, but you want to know stories, and that's, I think, the great part about success. Everyone has a story of how they got there, and no one story is
Mhm.
alike.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Hmm.
And
And
then
you
for
got
me,
right into it.
Yeah.
when you call, I was like, "Who's that?" And then I start talking to you. I said, "Okay, no problem." And then I went and checked, and I was like, "Oh." I'm glad that I'm doing this. You know what I mean? Especially with the crisis that everybody is going to right
Mhm.
now. Everybody want to build each other up. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? And make it happen and,
Yeah.
uplift, because there's so many negativities out there, so many anger and stress, and
Yeah.
people are just losing it. And so when you could help another, to uplift, I run for that.
Oh, thank you so much. I want to see our people make it. Like I know that it's our time. I believe that it's our time. We've
Mhm.
sat back and we've supported every other nation, and that $1.3 trillion in buying power. That's a
Mhm.
perfect example. Those are our receipts to show that we
Exactly.
supported everybody else, and yet and
That's
still we are
true.
still on the outs. We're still, our forefathers were the ones that built this country, that put the work, the hard work, sweat and tears into building this country. Whether and same thing in Haiti, it's no different. We are
Yeah.
a people that are dedicated and will work and we will build.
Yes.
But now it's our time to come together, like you said, and really work together to bring this thing to. We have to. I mean, if
Yep.
we don't, there's no wealth in terms of Black people at all
Mm-hmm.
in the US.
Yeah, I mean,
That's true.
that it goes back to we have a lot of entertainers who have Jewish accountants, Jewish attorneys, they're investing in Jewish communities. They're
Right.
taking the hundreds of millions of dollars that Shaquille O'Neal or that these guys are making,
Yeah.
and they're not concerned with the Black community. So the
Yeah.
only thing that they'll do is buy liquor stores and make sure that
Yeah.
we stay intoxicated and stay disconnected from what will elevate us. So it's, I try not to blame too many other people for what
Mhm.
we're doing, but we really need to get more LeBron James mentality into
Yeah.
our communities. LeBron
Yeah.
gets back 125%. And so
Yes.
I just think that we really need to have more leaders that, can make these phone calls and say, hey, listen, we're building a small after school program for kids that go home. Normally they go home and no one's home. No one's there to
Mhm.
help them with their homework. No one's there
Right.
to ask them how their day was. No one is there
True.
to put them, a little snack or make them a snack.
Mhm.
No one is there to tell what a great job they did today.
Mhm.
So even if it's the
Agreed.
smallest, slightest little thing that, we can start implementing in every community. I mean, I know
Mhm.
coming up, we had the YMCA and the YWCA, and I learned to swim, and I learned to
Yeah.
Yep.
play games with other
Me
kids. Like,
too.
you know what I mean? It was just
Mhm.
a great, safe community. And I
Yeah.
learned how to, I had sisters, but they were older. But, going there, I learned to play checkers. I learned to play chess. I learned to play, games and learn rules. And Those are the simple things, like when you learn rules of games, sports, or whatever it is. When you have a coach, you then learn that, you know, get older, you need a coach in business. You need a coach throughout, like, you know, everything that you do. Because without that, you get distracted and you're doing too much on your own. So I think that, you know, we just really need to start having, you know, programs for young adults. And then when you get to a certain level in your business, you need a coach to know when is it time to go to a bank and ask for $100,000 loan. How do you build your bank credit? What is Dun and Brad? What does it mean to have, you know, all of these things that nobody really teaches Black folks in the community of how to grow and how to put a simple business plan together. It's difficult, but it really isn't. But we just haven't been guided and supported.
That's true. That's true.
So
I agree 100%. Oh, we have a question.
Miss Carrie Norris said, Miss Jean, has COVID-19, Miss John, has COVID-19 affected the fashion business or your business?
Oh, COVID-19 affected everyone. There's not one person that wasn't affected by COVID-19. And for one, everything is shut down. For two, everyone is at home. Three, people are losing their job. Four, people are in a space of 2 years inside their home. Some people are feared to go anywhere right now and haven't been going back to a job. Companies are going bankrupt. Companies are closing. And I'm looking at my area. I'm looking at $1 billion corporation that's going out of business. You know? So it affects everyone. There's not one person that haven't been touched by it except the food companies.
Yeah.
Because we have to eat, you know, right now. And it also help us by being home and actually spending your money in things that that's necessary, that you need, not just buying. And I remember I used to walk out. Every time I walk out, I'm spending money. I'm like, why did I spend that money? And I'm sitting inside home in COVID-19. I didn't have to spend nothing but food. Everybody was running, trying to get the toilet paper, the food, you know, all the stuff that you really need. Even the children, they didn't know the kids. And them kids are under every single parent's stomach. Now they don't have no other choice, but they start figuring out who their kids are, you know, and who they are, and communication line, the simple things, you know, riding a bike. Yes, it does affect everyone's business. The good thing for me, when COVID-19 was hitting, all my stuff was in production. That was the first time I'm actually doing production. So by the time it hit, that's when my production was done.
Oh, wow.
You understand? And I took my business from the end back in when I went back. And I recently went back about 2 years ago.
Wow.
My daughter was like, it's enough, Mom. You could go back. So you don't say it's me.
Yeah.
So when I went back, I went straight into production. And that was the most easiest thing to do. And I thought it was the hardest thing because there's certain things that the books will give you, but experience, it's a whole nother learning.
Wow.
Whole nother learning. And I was lucky enough to understand it and run with it. And now that's why I was able to get everything online now. But it does affect everyone. Everyone is holding their money back. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what's the next move. New York City is empty. The buildings are empty.
Wow.
What? The building are empty. I remember I used to rent a whole floor. Now they're cutting the building, the whole floors into little pieces, turning them this one $1,000, $2,500, $35. That's how the Korean coming back and, you know, renting out.
Wow.
Whatever you could afford, you're gonna get it.
In LA.
Huh?
I said, I hate to tell you this, but not in LA. I'm on the highway.
LA is completely different. That's a whole nother. Oh yeah.
not let no COVID stop us. We
Oh, no, we don't. We don't.
No, as a matter of fact, my business is thriving more than before because
wow.
As we know, I transferred from fashion and from working with Usher and Hallie and all of them to houses. So now, I mean, everybody wants their house renovated because they're at home. They're at home all day long. So
exactly.
I just left one meeting in Hollywood. I'm on my way to the Valley, and I got another client that we just got. But it's all of these people who value in their property. They have, equity in their homes. They're ready to spend. As a matter of fact, almost all of my clients are asking me to build outdoor oases. They want waterfalls. They want putting ranges so they could golf. They want basketball courts. They want, above ground pools. They want decks.
Yeah.
Because if this COVID thing goes on for another year, they're fine working from home, but they want to go outside and play basketball,
and be comfortable
or whatever. So my business is really doing a lot.
Yes, it is.
Before, but also, I mean, I just think that I think there's a lot of different, as we know, there are people who are in severe poverty right now, who don't know where their next meal is going to come from. They don't know how they pay their rent. And then you have the very, very wealthy who, as a matter of fact, their stocks are doing very well.
Very well. Yes.
They are making a lot of money, and then nothing has changed in their life. Not one thing. And so, as a matter of fact, because the interest rate is so low, people are buying homes, renovating homes, flipping homes, buying new cars because, the deals that are out there, you can get a car and don't have to pay the note for 3 months.
Exactly.
No payments for 3 months. I mean, this is a great time for people to really concentrate on their credit, start getting their credit right, saying that you're not going out to the movies, you're not going out to buy dinner, you're not going, use that money to pay your credit card debt down. And get your credit score up, because when this thing gets back to normal, you'll have.
It's about a number. It's about a social. Exactly. So your credit score. That's all it's all about. And that's the same thing that happened after 9/11. I went into real estate. That's when I got into real estate. After 9/11, because everybody was running out of New York, people was losing home, they was doing this, and she's right. And right now, that's exactly what happened. But the one with the dollars are the only one that's making their money, because while somebody else is losing it, somebody else is picking it up for chip change. And that's pretty much what's going on.
Wow.
My
goodness.
We have another question here from Jada. She asks, what advice or tips would you guys give to aspiring fashion designers?
Well, like she said, first of all, you got to have your money right. You got to have your credit incorrect. And don't think you're just going to be making the money the first few years. You have to be, very, very, very unique. And, there's nothing new under the sun, but your market is also important. Who you selling to? So all this stuff matters. So you just, take it slowly, but try to move as quick as possible, because fashion goes so quickly. In 3 months, you got to keep changing. So if you don't have your money right, you don't have your credit right, you don't have everything to standards and ready to go, then you're not ready.
Wow.
So start taking that baby step until you could feel comfortable enough and keep it moving.
And I would say that I would definitely say, first of all, create something new and different.
Correct.
I love originality. I love when someone comes up with something.
Gotta be unique.
That no one else has ever tapped into. And, know your market. Know that, if that is something you're going to create, know what market you're tapping into. Start building a following on your social media pages, just for that type of fashion. Once you get, let's just say that, you're trying to sell a product to moms, make sure that your social media you're gearing all of your reels and all of your
To
videos
mothers.
to moms. You're linking up with influencers. You're finding people who are like-minded that can help you to elevate your company. You want to absolutely, like, you know, being creative is a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
You also have to be a businesswoman or a businessman, because you're buying fabric, you're spending this an endless amount of time on creating
Mm-hmm.
stuff. You are you know, you have to know, like, okay, what was my investment and what is my return? Your
Right.
return on investment
That's
is the most
important.
important thing, because you can spend, but if you're not making money, then you might as well just go ahead and just not even put a price tag on anything and just start giving stuff away. So
Mm-hmm.
they have a plan, you know, to start with. This is how much I'm going to sell it for. This is how many hours I'm going to invest in it. This is how much, you know, I'm going to hopefully sell at least 100. If I can get past 100, then I know that I'm
No,
making.
there's a profit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And then you gotta enjoy what you do. You gotta love it to be
yeah,
in it.
I agree.
Mhm.
I agree. There's another question here. They have a lot of questions they coming out with today.
Good. I love questions.
Micaiah said this is a really good topic. It's very important that we have these conversations. Yeah.
Aw, yeah.
Well, what I want to tell your audience is that I didn't introduce myself today, so I'm going to give a quick introduction, and then I'm going to give you guys a little jewel and nugget that I'm going to drop at the end. But I was on last week, so if you guys were in the room last week, you kind of know a little bit about me. But I started off as a fashion stylist for Usher and Halle and Common and Ludacris and Eddie Murphy and Dr. Dre and Eminem and a lot of, you know, Sierra and a lot of other, Queen Latifah and a bunch of people like that. So I was a stylist first.
Girls.
Then I started designing, and I started designing like Donatella Versace and Roberto Cavalli and Valentino and Mr. Armani and Dolce Gabbana. And I did it mainly for like Grammys and the Oscars and American Music Awards and stuff like that. So my name came like really synonymous with greatness and power and high-end fashion. And so what I did is I made sure that I never, as I said last week, I never dimmed my light when I was in the room with these great people. I still had enough power within my spirit and soul to know that I was bringing value to the table. So what I want to say to everybody in the room is know your value, know your worth. When you go to the table, don't go with an attitude of I know it all, but go to the table with I have something to lend. Let me sit at the table. Let me be in the room with these people. And little by little, you know, because you'll be in the room amongst greatness, they'll take your you know, sit down and know a little bit about you. Little by little, drop a little bit. Hey, what do you guys think of this? I was thinking this. I did some research and I heard that teal green is coming out next season. We should kind of implement this. So know what, you know, every step you got to study what the great people are doing, what Tom Ford is doing, what, you know, all these designers are doing. And then you take a little bit from all of them and you make your own. So all of you guys who are in the audience that are creating lines, have a hat line, have a t-shirt line, have a hoodie line, have a candle line, follow me on Facebook, inbox me, talk to me. I will mentor you, or I'll help you to maybe put your line in the hands of some of these celebrities. If I think you can, you know, if I like the stuff, I will help you guys to launch. I also have a mentor program. So when you DM me, I'll talk to you about my programs and how I can be of service. And I thank the ladies on stage for having me here. Because someone helped me, I want to help you guys as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dawn. I really appreciate that. And that's what I was saying. That's the thing that I love about your spirit, about Claudinette's spirit, is you guys are wanting to help. I think somebody put in one of the comments, she said, who is that? Wait a minute, one moment. Carrie Norris says our monies need to bounce at least 7 to 8 times within our communities before it leaves. And that is so true.
That's so true.
That is so true. Yeah. I think there's a, were you going to say something, Dawn?
I was just going to say, but in our communities, we also have to open up small shops. The mom and pop shops don't exist anymore. And I mean, even if it's like the simplest thing, like we need places where you could go and get a fruit shake in the morning, or you can get healthy food or vegan food. We need more places that, support small designers where, it might just be 400 square feet, but in that room, you're supporting other designers so that the money can stay in the community, not just the community that the nail salon is there, the Korean liquor store is there. We need our own stores. We have to figure out, how do we start owning our own stuff so that, yes, the money stays in the community, and we're employing each other as well. We can't own a store and then employ, and I don't have anything against white people, I don't have anything against Korean people, but we have to employ our young people
that's
as well, and give them the chance and the opportunity to learn.
And that's the thing. When I was saying we have to learn to unite it as one, because that's what they have. That's their power. And that's what we miss in our community. So if we all could pretty much, as much as we talking right now, we have all 4 beautiful women talking about all kind of, try to bring everything together, try to enlighten others. So that's the way it gotta be as a whole. As a whole, it will work, because look at this hair. It's $1 billion corporation. And you mean we don't want wearing most of the wigs and the hair weave and everything else, and then someone else is making the money. And she's right. And that's what we pretty much looking for. You're right. That's what we're looking for us to be able to open all these different businesses. And then we support one another. And don't just look at it and you pass in front. Go in. You don't know what you're going to find. And put that $100 into that one person pocket or whatever it takes. But if we don't give it a chance, how do we expect to move on and keep everything nice and neat so we can feel comfortable walking in? You feel me? Leave the community clean. Let's clean it up. And then let's run the business, and then we all share concept, because right now every single question, every single knowledge you need, it's in the computers right under your fingertip, a mile, 100 miles away, So I think we need to enlighten ourselves and really go for it. And don't be, don't have no fear. Don't worry about what the next person next to you is saying or doing. Just do what you think you have to do. And if you could give another one a hand and pull them up, try that. Even if it's 1, 2, whatever amount of people that you could help. And that's how it goes. Don't start coming around, moving around like crab. We pulling each other down. No, we got to stop that. Seriously.
We do.
It's important.
And that's why I know, like I was telling Don before, that the Most High God gave me this vision for Black Heritage Enterprise Marketplace. It's our time. It's our time. I can remember as a child, in my communities growing up in Florida, there was a Black family that owned a grocery store, a record shop, like gas stations. It's like now to see, I didn't realize how much these things have changed until I went back to my old communities, and I'm like, man, all of the gas stations are owned by Arabs or Indians. All of the corner stores are owned by them too. There's really nothing in our community that we still have ownership of, except for barbershops and beauty salons.
Right.
That's true. That's true.
So the idea of, I don't think that our people, we're so used to trying to get a discount on something or saving money on something that we don't oftentimes really take a look at, okay, what is it really costing me? Because right now I'm getting instant gratification from purchasing this item at a discount. But am I not patronizing my own people? I'm really at the end of the day setting my people up for a demise. I'm causing that a broader, wealth gap by not patronizing my own people. And now, because there are so few of us that have businesses in our own communities, it's hard to know who to patronize.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing is getting back to that. And I really appreciate you guys for being on the platform. I think Claudinette, there was a question on here for you. Let's see.
Nathaniel said, how does an idea become a finished product? What are the steps?
Okay. The first thing for me, I usually get my inspiration. It could be in the beach. It could be anywhere. And I could see the colors. Maybe that's the color I want to go for this next season. And then from the color to the fabric. And then the first thing, sometimes I see the fabric before I see the sketch. And other time I see the sketch and then I run with the sketch and bring everything to reality. And from the sketch, we have to do the first product, which is the first pattern. The first pattern is the pattern that the small model will come in and put on and do the fitting. Because a lot of people say, oh, why are they always using small models for, for fashion show? What happened to the big girls? But if you buy in the fabric $100 a yard,
wow,
you want to put that cut. Exactly. You want to put that cut to a smaller girl. And that cut could always extend with upgrading pattern to make it small, medium, large. Most designers try to save money for the runway. That's why it's always the smallest girl that they get to give that cut. Once that cut is done, you going back to production. Production model is completely different from the runway models. Production model is the normal girl, the regular medium girl, the regular medium size small girl. And they're usually shorter and a little bit bigger than the runway girls. You understand? Because most people don't look like the runway girls. And they tall, they slim. And then when they're in front of the camera, they just give the elegant height of the whole fabric in the fall. So that's why it's important to do two different basic patterns. So your production pattern is your production model now. So you get one model when you call the agencies. Yes, you could call the agencies that will give you all the runway girls. When you're ready to do only production, you call a production model. And they will give you that too. Is that the girl that you want to represent with a bigger chest, a small waistline, or a little bigger waistline? You know what I mean? What is your look? What do you want this, fuchsia girls to look like? So that's how you start with your production girl. And after the fit look really nice and it fall perfectly, once you do that one piece, then you take it to upgrading pattern. And the upgrading pattern, they're the one that take that production pattern and then go to small, medium, large, extra large, and then you take it to the manufacturers, and the manufacturers have them big machine where they could cut everything, 1,000 cut in one shot. You understand? And then you go to your sewing company, and then they sew the pieces, and that's your production. And sometimes you have everything under one manufacturers.
Wow.
That's how the whole process goes.
And us on the outside, we think it's a simple process.
No, not at all. And if you go, and that's why designers sometimes take a little bit longer than others to produce. But if you go in overseas, try to get the cut price. You understand? Now you got to take that basic pattern and hope that they do it right the first time before they cut it. So if it come back wrong, then your whole entire product is wrong. Now, let's just say you have a contract with Neiman. If Neiman give you a timeline and you don't have that timeline by 12:01, they don't have to take that product. And that's your loss. So you got to have a good relationship with your manufacturers to make sure that everything is cut and it's right and it's perfect before it could come out of their manufacturers. And they could give it to you on time. So that's the whole process.
Woo-wee.
And of course, you got to go to textile shows. There's textile show, there's fashion shows, and then you got to bring the accessories. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's not just one thing.
Interesting.
Jada said, for me, as someone trying to gradually make my way into the fashion industries, both of you definitely inspired me to keep my head up and push towards my goals. Thank you both so much. Thank you guys for coming on the show.
Jada, thank you.
Thank you.
And then I also wanted to ask you guys, you know, in this new age generation where we're always on our phones, everything is at our fingertips, you know, we have so much experience between the both of you guys. Throughout your experience in getting into the fashion industry, how was it? Like, if I know that you guys have learned a lot of things through trial and error, what is one thing that it was just like, man, I wish I knew this before I went ahead and did it? Or, you know, just for the up and coming people so that they can know, hey, let me make sure to take a note of this so that I don't necessarily have to make this same mistake and I can make sure I'm doing what I need to do.
You know what? I don't look at too many things a mistake for me. I always try to look at it more like a learning process, because you're gonna make those mistakes. You're gonna make those mistakes. Nobody is perfect. So the only thing is try not to make it twice. You understand? You learn from it. But at the same time, there's so many ways to do things. You just gotta be in the alert of everything around you. You know, what is in, what's not in, what is the trend. You constantly have your mind curating. And you could be the one that come with something way before Fusha. You understand? And you run with it and become way bigger than someone else. You know, they've been in the business for years and so on. So you don't know what that is. You just got to be in your creative move and stay away from negative vibe, negative people. And, you know, when you feel that, you just move and keep moving forward with what you think that is right. And I hate when somebody tell you, oh, you know what? Do it this way. I said, but I think I should do it that way. And then I listened to you, and next minute I found myself, I was right. So a lot of these, you know, sometimes don't you be going through that experience?
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes you just got to be in charge with what you want and what you really need to do, and then just go for it. You know, just go for it. You're going to make the mistake. And I can sit here and lie to you and tell you cannot make you, or you're not going to make no mistake. And for me, it's time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say, I use this metaphor a lot. If I only knew then what I know now.
Exactly.
So to answer your question, what would I have done differently? I mean, in retrospect, you know, I've made a lot of mistakes, but what I would have done differently is I would have had a team. I would have had a team of people around me, because I would have been a lot further in my life, you know, as a businesswoman, you know, and unfortunately, you know, we didn't have the opportunity that a lot of other cultures have, which is, you know, I'm gonna have an office, I'm gonna have a showroom, I'm gonna have this, I'm gonna have that, I'm gonna have a team.
Right.
I think I would have been a lot further if I was able to have, you know, 4 or 5 more people around me that I could have bounced ideas off of. Some of my biggest mistakes that I made, I did because I didn't talk to anybody else. I made investments that were bad. If I had sat with somebody and shared with them, hey, this person just came to me with this investment, I'm going to go ahead and do this. What do you think? I know they would have said, Dawn, that doesn't sound right. You know, that doesn't sound right. And so I just say, move slowly. Think about, you know, everything you have, and then don't be afraid to share with other people, you know, like, what do you think about this? And you know, then you go back and you meditate. Then you go back and you pray. Then you go back and you say, okay, feels good with my spirit. Just don't move fast. That's all. That's what I
Yeah.
was.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for that, you guys.
Take your time.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Oh, and Micaiah said, thank y'all for taking the time out to come on. It is very inspiring and insightful. I can attest to that. I'm just like, oh my goodness, I'm in their presence. All the information is gleaming on me. Yes.
Aw, it's a pleasure meeting all of you. This is beautiful.
Yeah, and I would love to be able to. I mean, I think there's so many of you guys out there that are so creative that just don't have anyone to tap into, you know. And so hopefully in the future we'll have like maybe some, you know, when all this stuff gets done, I'd like to do some retreats.
Yeah. And then
Uh-huh.
try to travel, go see the other cultures, different things. Take a little time to do that as well. Save that money and use it wisely, because the eyes need to be open, you know. And now we have the internet. We could open our eyes even bigger. So that's important. And then we be able to create a little bit more and giving more.
Yes. I have a question about, and this is my last, because I know that Claudinette, you have to leave, and we want to be respectful of your time. I wanted to ask you something about like textiles and stuff for people, like young entrepreneurs that's just not really trying to get into the industry. How do they really make a decision on what textiles to use in a design?
What to use?
Yeah, like the type of textiles to use.
Textile. There's so many different textile that's being produced now. You just gotta try to find a way to go to the exhibition fashion show. It's free. All you have to do is register.
Wow.
Register and go see it. They come all over the world. And you could go and register. They have them in New York. They have them in LA. They have them everywhere. So going into the internet, just find out when is the textile fashion show week is. And then they, just take the time and register and get in there, and you will see all the different new development, because you have people from all different countries that's coming with new textile at all time. So it's important for you to go and feel it and touch it and see the resistance, of this fabric, water resistant. Some of them, dirt come out with no. So it's a lot of new textile being developed from everywhere, all over the world, especially China, Paris, Italy. Paris is the heart of fashion. They always come in with the couture detailed, and there's so much to learn. There's so much to learn. You just got to go to the shows. And don't let people tell you, oh, you got to pay money. It's free. They want you to be there. If you had the money to purchase, you can purchase. Get the simple sizes. Get simple pieces, meaning. And usually it's about 10 yard or something. Make something out of it. You could be one of a kind and start your pieces like that. Hopefully someone be able to wear it. You understand? Even though you don't have the production part of it because you don't have enough money, but at least someone is out looking with your piece, with this unique fabric. So it's many different ways you could cut short in your money as well to save and use it wisely.
Oh, that was some good tea, honey. And I don't have no tea today to take no sips, but that was some good tea. Y'all bringing the tea tonight. I'm just loving it. And listen, I see you have some designs back there. Were you going to share some of that with us tonight?
Oh, yeah. This is most of the pieces that I have online. And this is one of my pieces.
I love that. I'm gonna have to get that. Is so
COVID just turned everything to just like you see.
Look at
And then you can take it exists and
wow.
And then let me see. Could you get some? Let me see if I could get some. Take them out of the plastic. Because I gotta hear them. So we had some pieces, we had some pieces for guys, for women. And this is the first time I actually went and did production. So you see, when you're being creative, you got to do something a little bit different. You know what? This is for the guys,
Oh, that's nice.
And then you
I
have
like
the other one, there's
Is
different
that
pieces.
good?
And then you see for women, all girls want the skinny waistline. And, you try to do something,
Yes.
it doesn't have to cost that much money. It could be just a unique cut. Use
Right,
the fabric wisely. That's
right.
what's important, especially with the crisis that's going on right now.
Mhm.
People don't want to go spend, $1,000 and $100 of,
Right.
for fabric. So it's important. Look, you know what I mean? So you
Yes.
price it right.
I love it. I
You know,
love it. I
let me
love
see
it.
that piece. And this one for the girls.
Ooh, that is.
The
I see
peach.
that's the
Let
colors
me
over
see the
there. Ooh,
peach.
I love
Yeah,
that.
this is, it's all custom fabric. So it's all, painted, it was one of a kind. You have all the matching masks,
Oh my
Um,
God.
let me see the
Look.
pink top, the peach. Yeah, take that one out.
Oh yes. Oh
And you
my
see, you just
gosh.
create little different thing. Just make it look different, but
Ooh,
it's,
I gotta get.
you have the matching bass,
Oh, that's
Oh,
beautiful.
that is
you
so
know,
cute.
you
Oh
see,
my
Satin.
gosh.
you just
Yes,
want
I
to
love
do little
it.
things, different. And then when women walk into that room, you just feel good. And I
Yeah.
know she's seeing it all with
Yeah.
all the big time designer. This is fuchsia.
Beautiful.
You gotta look at fuchsia now. I don't care about Gucci right now.
It's
Louis Vuitton.
it's about food for this song.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what you want to do with the fabric. Even though now you in the market where people are struggling, they rather get the food than the clothes, and they
Right.
could wait, or some can't afford it. So you just gotta, manage things a little bit different. Just watch
Right.
the market. Use your money very, very
Right.
wisely.
Yeah.
Because once it's produced, you cannot bring it back again next year. That's how
Wow.
you got to think about it.
Yeah, I
And
love it.
and hopefully someone will have it in the closet forever.
Exactly. Like a lot of my stuff that I wish I would have kept from like the 80s and the
Mhm.
90s because you see some
Because
of
they
that
keep
kind
coming
of,
back
yeah,
around. That's what
keep
fashion
coming
is
back
all
around.
about. That's why it's
Yeah,
important to cut very small pieces so you don't have to keep producing for a large group of individual. Once
right.
10 people have this pieces, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless somebody else gonna copy it.
Exactly.
That's what it
Exactly.
is. Yeah.
Exactly.
Micaiah said, I'm a huge fan of jackets and I love those designs. Question: is the mask built into the jacket?
Yes, it's sold in. It's sold
That
in.
is so cute.
I'm
Yeah.
always forgetting my mask
And then you can put
everywhere.
it exactly. So you already have it. See, again, you got to look at what's going around you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you usually create based on what's happening that
Mm-hmm.
moment,
True.
the
Right.
trend. That's
Right.
pretty much what it is.
Wow. I love how you incorporated that. You would never be able to tell that that's what it was
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank
if
you.
you flip it up. I love that. I love it.
Don, I am such a fan.
I'm a fan of yours. Yes. So
And
I'm proud of you.
oh, I'm proud of you. And I love where you're going too, because that's another market for me as well. Real estate, interior decorating, love it.
Know that.
That's the market now.
Yeah. I got tired of talking to people and convincing them to put it on. You'll see. You'll like it. Just put it on.
Exactly.
Now I don't have to ask them. I just build the house. They don't talk
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to talk much. Just let somebody else go sell it.
Yeah.
So what state are you in? You're in New York, and what part of New York? What borough?
I, I'm in New York, putting my whole showroom together on 38th Street and 7th.
Oh, nice. Okay, very good. All right. Well, when I come,
Yeah, while everybody's running, I'm going in because in the next 2 years, you're not going to be able to afford it.
when
Yeah.
I come to New York, I'll come see you.
Okay, that sounds beautiful.
All right, honey.
Looking forward.
Yes. I don't have my teacup, but yes. I'm gonna do my invisible tea.
Ooh.
I love it. I love it.
Pinky finger up.
Yes.
Ah, see,
That is so good. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm loving the fact
Thank
that
you
you guys
guys.
are connecting. And I just know that something great is going to come out of it. All of us working together. I just talked to Don actually about bringing a fashion show to Tampa Bay, Florida. We had a couple guys on. Last week was men's edition, and the week before was Don's episode. And we were talking about the guys. They were like, "Listen, we want to collaborate and do a fashion show." And I was like, "Okay, then we can do that." So I've been calling around today, checking out on venues and different things like that, and just trying to see, you know, how we can make this thing work. But yeah, so
it's needed.
It's definitely needed.
Yeah, because they haven't really have real fashion show for the last 2 years. Because now what was happening, you paying over $100,000 for 20 minutes. That stuff
Yeah,
is gone, you know,
yeah,
and the
right.
people are just using any location, their price range, and then just thought it because social media is different. It's not
Yeah.
like back in the days you had to buy a page
Mhm,
from a magazine, 10 grand, 15,000. So now
mhm.
it's free. You
Yeah,
know, you just gotta have the audience.
exactly. Exactly. Oh my gosh, that's it. And we got it.
And I think too that, you know, I know when you do your show, it's going to be more than just a show. There's going to be music and
Oh
dancing.
yeah, oh yeah.
Exactly,
They're
Donna.
not ready.
They're already.
They're not ready. It's gonna be off the chain. I'm telling you that. It's like the kids say now, it's lit. It's gonna be lit. We're gonna make
Yep.
sure. We're gonna make sure of it. And Claudinette, I hope you'll be able to join us.
Okay. Okay. Send me more information in the schedule.
I will definitely do that. I'm gonna send you the schedule tonight because I know
Okay.
you.
Already?
Yeah, I'm gonna send it. Not the schedule, but the dates. So at
Okay.
least you're able to lock the dates in.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me.
We
And
appreciate you guys for
it was a
coming.
pleasure.
Thank you so much.
We're so
Okay,
happy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Oh
you.
my gosh, this warms my heart. I just pray that God bless you and your both of you and your endeavors, and
You
that
as well.
your family, protect your family members, and keeps you guys and cause you to prosper because you're sowing seed. And this, what you're giving is intangible. There's really no price tag that you can put on the advice that you're providing. So I really do appreciate both of you for taking the time out tonight to come out and share with the people the things that you know can help to make them successful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank
That's nice.
Thank
you.
No, just thank you guys. I mean, I look forward to growing a wonderful and fruitful partnership with you guys. I know that whatever you guys do, it's going to turn into something beautiful. And I just hope I could be on the sideline and I could tell everybody, I know those wonderful ladies right there.
Let me tell you, it's just the beginning.
I'm going to say, I know her. I remember talking to her. I remember her saying that she wanted to have her own fashion line or whatever it is. I'm going to be like, I know her.
Exactly.
How old are you?
Exactly.
I'm 24.
Oh, you a baby.
Yeah, you
Get out of here. Get out of here. Listen, if Trump and Biden at that age running and taking that job, we are super young. We're just starting.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
We are just starting. If these old men are running the way they're running, come
We
on,
can do
guys.
it.
Come
Yeah.
on.
For real. And then look at this, all of this beautiful melanin.
Yes.
Don't break.
All in the room.
Yes, all of this melanin
Okay.
on the screen tonight on the platform.
Aw.
Thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. And
And you guys,
did any one of you did you have anything that you would want to say in closing?
I mean, I think we spilled a lot of tea here.
we sure did.
Yes.
All I could say, good luck. Well, I don't believe in luck. I shouldn't even say that. Have faith
success
and continue doing what you know best.
Yes.
And every day you got to take that step.
Yeah.
And you get closer and closer to the success. That's how it works.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, guys. Goodbye. I'm going to have some more tea now.
Thank you.
Some ginger tea.